Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Experimentation Machine, Finding Product Market Fit in the Age of AI by Jeffrey Bussgang reframes startup building as a repeatable system rather than a heroic art. Drawing on the author's experience as an entrepreneur, investor, and educator, the book focuses on how teams can reduce uncertainty by running disciplined experiments that quickly reveal what customers truly value. It connects classic lean startup thinking with today's reality, cheaper and faster product iteration, AI-assisted research and prototyping, and data-driven feedback loops that can compress learning cycles. Instead of treating product market fit as a lucky breakthrough, Bussgang emphasizes constructing an experimentation engine that turns hypotheses into evidence, and evidence into decisions. The book aims to help founders and product leaders avoid two common traps: shipping features based on intuition alone and over-relying on AI tools without a rigorous method for validation. The result is a practical guide to designing tests, interpreting signals, and scaling only after you have earned the right to grow. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, product market fit as a measurable learning milestone. A central theme is that product market fit should be approached as a milestone you can work towards systematically, not a vague feeling that arrives unexpectedly. The book frames early-stage work as a sequence of hypotheses about a target customer, an urgent problem, and a differentiated solution. Each hypothesis becomes testable through observable behavior, sign-ups, retention, willingness to pay, referrals, and other indicators of pull from the market. By treating fit as the output of structured learning, teams can replace opinion-driven debates with evidence-based decisions. This mindset also clarifies what not to do: scaling distribution, hiring rapidly, or expanding feature scope before the core value proposition is validated. The author emphasizes selecting metrics that reflect real customer value rather than vanity signals, and using benchmarks appropriate to the product category and business model. Fit is depicted as progressive, with small wins that confirm parts of the thesis and reveal what still needs work. The practical implication is that founders should design their company around learning velocity, how quickly they can run experiments, interpret results, and refine their approach. In an AI-accelerated environment, this discipline becomes even more important because faster building can create the illusion of progress without real market traction. Secondly, building an experimentation machine with repeatable loops. The book's title concept is an experimentation machine, a repeatable operating system for discovery. Rather than running occasional tests, teams establish a steady cadence of forming hypotheses, designing experiments, launching lightweight prototypes, collecting feedback, and deciding whether to persevere, iterate, or pivot. The emphasis is on rigor and throughput. Experiments should be small enough to run quickly yet meaningful enough to reduce uncertainty. This includes choosing the right test type for the question, such as interviews for problem clarity, landing pages for demand signals, concierge pilots for workflow fit, and pricing tests for willingness to pay. The machine also requires documentation and shared language so learnings accumulate instead of disappearing in chat logs. Cross-functional participation matters: product, engineering, design, marketing, and sales. Each observe different parts of reality and can help prevent biased interpretation. The author highlights decision hygiene, defining success criteria in advance, acknowledging confounding factors, and resisting the temptation to reinterpret weak results as wins. Over time, a functioning experimentation machine becomes a competitive advantage because it allows the team to navigate uncertainty with less waste, align around facts, and continuously improve the product with purpose. In the age of AI, where iteration is cheap, the machine ensures iteration is also smart. Thirdly, using AI to accelerate discovery without fooling yourself. A distinctive focus is how AI changes the speed and surface area of experimentation. AI tools can accelerate customer research, generate prototype concepts, draft copy for landing pages, assist analysis of qualitative feedback, and help teams explore product directions quickly. The book positions AI as leverage for learning velocity, not a substitute for customer truth. Because AI can produce plausible outputs, it can also magnify confirmation bias. Teams may mistake fluent artifacts for validated value. The author's approach is to treat AI-generated ideas as starting hypotheses that still require real-world testing. AI can help create multiple variants to test faster, but the discipline remains in defining what signal would count as evidence. Another key implication is that AI can enable smaller teams to run more experiments in parallel, which raises the need for prioritization and clear experiment ownership. With more tests running, teams must guard against noisy data and misleading short-term results. The book encourages keeping human contact with customers at the center, using AI to summarize and structure insights but not to replace direct observation. Done well, AI becomes part of the experimentation machine. It reduces cycle time, lowers cost, and expands creativity, while a rigorous method preserves truthfulness and decision quality. Fourthly, go-to-market tests that prove demand and clarify positioning. Finding fit is not only about the product, it is also about how the market understands, discovers, and adopts it. The book highlights go-to-market experimentation as a way to validate demand, messaging, and channels before committing big budgets. Teams can test positioning by comparing alternative problem statements and value propositions, then measuring which ones create stronger engagement and higher intent. Channel tests can reveal whether growth will come from content, partnerships, outbound sales, paid acquisition, marketplaces, or product-led motion. The author's framework encourages linking channel tests to economics early, cost to acquire, sales cycle length, conversion rates, and retention expectations. This prevents the common pattern where early enthusiasm hides a model that cannot scale profitably. Especially in B2B contexts, the book underscores learning from real sales conversations, pilot deployments, and procurement constraints, not just from product usage. Pricing and packaging are treated as core experiments rather than an afterthought, since willingness to pay is one of the strongest proofs of value. The point is to remove guesswork. Instead of believing a narrative about the market, teams should run experiments that force customers to take meaningful actions. The outcome is clearer differentiation, a sharper ideal customer profile, and a repeatable path to growth that matches the product's strengths. Lastly, leadership, culture, and decision-making in high uncertainty. The experimentation mindset requires a culture where learning beats ego. The book emphasizes leadership practices that make rigorous testing possible, encouraging intellectual honesty, rewarding teams for discovering hard truths, and separating people's identity from specific ideas. In early-stage environments, uncertainty can trigger overconfidence or paralysis. A well-run experimentation machine provides structure. Everyone knows what is being tested, why it matters, what success looks like, and what will happen after results arrive. The author also addresses the social dynamics of startups, where founders can unintentionally bias outcomes by signaling preferences. Creating space for dissent and insisting on predefined criteria can improve decision quality. Another cultural element is customer closeness. Teams that regularly hear from users develop better intuition and craft better hypotheses, which improves the quality of experiments. The book suggests that velocity should not come from rushing, but from reducing rework through clarity and alignment. In the age of AI, leaders must also set norms for responsible tool usage, data privacy, and transparency in how AI informs decisions. Ultimately, the human system matters as much as the technical system. When teams adopt a learning culture, they can pivot faster, invest with confidence, and scale with fewer costly mistakes. In conclusion, this book is best for startup founders, product managers, growth leaders, and investors who want a practical, evidence-driven way to reach product-market fit, especially in software and AI-enabled businesses. It is also valuable for corporate innovation teams that need to validate new offerings without burning months on large builds. The main benefit is a clearer operating system for turning uncertainty into knowledge. Readers learn how to frame assumptions, pick the right experiments, interpret signals honestly, and avoid scaling too early. In everyday work, this can reduce wasted engineering cycles, shorten time to meaningful traction, and improve alignment across teams because decisions are anchored in shared data rather than opinion. Compared with many product and startup books that focus either on vision and storytelling or on generic lean principles, this one stands out by emphasizing a repeatable experimentation machine and by directly addressing how AI changes the speed and risks of iteration. It helps readers use modern tools to move faster while staying grounded in customer reality. If you want a method that increases your odds of building something people truly want, this is a purchase that can pay for itself in avoided mistakes and faster learning. If you would like to support Jeffrey Bussgang, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.